Craig Johns Jr. from The Dark. Welcome to the Popko Project Podcast. How are you?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good. It's still chill Sunday, right?
Yeah.
As I said before, nothing else going on you can be doing other than this.
Right after this, I jump right back into the whirlwind of making content and working on the album and everything, but happy to take the break.
I appreciate it. I really do. I mean, I've heard the EP in its entirety, and by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be available to the world. I know four of the songs are already out there now. There's one more to be released, probably with the actual debut on the 21st of February.
Yeah.
So if you're tuning into this, stop doing that. Go stream the new EP, but then come back and hear Craig talk about the EP itself. But it's really good, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's like added to my gym playlist.
Sick.
Like yeah, it helps you get after it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. And I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is the debut of The Dark, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And you also have a member of Mice and Men as well, right?
Yeah. Alan, him and I started this like a couple years ago, when they were kind of on a break from touring and he had just been inspired by some kind of like out there, more video gamey, industrial kind of music, and just originally just wanted to jam and kind of feel it out and just like write that stuff for fun. And then it slowly became a band. And and yeah, I mean, for a while we were just writing just to write, just to kind of make cool stuff. And then there was a point where it's like, this really could be a metal band. It's getting more and more and more metal. And I was like, yeah, it's getting really metal. Like this isn't that like sync friendly, like TV commercial friendly anymore. This is definitely a metal band. And then
Yeah.
like, all right, let's do it. Let's try to get some of the guys to come play for us and you know, yeah, try to sort out if we can get deals and music videos done and just like put out the whole damn thing.
So how long has The Dark officially been a band for?
Um, I guess it's kind of blurry. Like I think we've been writing like this all started probably like 2.5 years ago. Um, but again, he was like, oh, some of the guys in Mice are being a little bit more selective about like what they want to play, and not everybody wants to be on tour for like the whole year, which is understandable. They're married and have kids on the way and things. And he was like, if I have more free time moving forward, like I would love to have a band, another band to kind of start to develop. So what started originally is him just like wanting to write stuff for TV and commercial, and he kind of hit me up as like producer and singer just to kind of like write this stuff with him. As that situation became more uh obvious to him, I guess I don't know what the word is, as that situation arose on his perspective with his band, he was like, in combination with this getting so much more like rocky and so much more metal and being less of like a video game soundtrack kind of a thing. He was like, let's work our way into a band. So we kind of started working with other producers, ended up kind of just coming back to just doing us two. And that was, I guess, like a year and a half of process. And then we had our EP pretty much wrapped up last summer. And then that was the conversation of like, okay, do we want to get a label involved? Do we want to try to do this ourselves? We have to start getting music videos done. Like, who's going to play drums and bass? And it was kind of like a madman scramble for a couple months. And then we figured it all out and released everything, I think, September.
Yeah.
So I don't know like when it was like officially a band. It feels like kind of just like slowly turned into one, just different conversations and the music evolving and management and booking and everybody getting involved. It's like, okay, this is definitely a band, but I don't really really know when like you start it. But
Right.
yeah, it's kind of cool that way. It's just like a really cool evolution of something I thought would just be like a fun session one day with one of my friends turning into like my whole life revolves around writing and producing and making videos, and it's taken over my whole life. So
It's
I
a
don't know.
full-time job, man. Like it's
It
just like
is.
content creation. Yeah, it's
It's
nuts.
so I need like an intern or something. This is crazy. This is so
Well, some
yeah.
of the notes I saw said that you kind of blew up on TikTok. Like,
Um, it's so funny. I kind of forget about that because like in my brain, like no. But then when we posted the Warp Tour announcement, everyone's like, "Oh, all these fucking TikTok fans on Warp Tour." I was like, "We're not TikTok, man. We're brand new. What are you talking about?" Like, dude, we've been working at this shit for so long. Like, I've been doing this since I was like 15.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, there was a it was not us actually. It was like what do you call it? A like a music video review.
Okay.
like
Yeah,
reaction
yeah.
video. And he saw it, and then and he made like this whole video about it. Like, this is their guy first song, and oh my God, and like just like so hyped on it. And we were like, holy shit, damn, like this is our first song, and this guy's so excited. It was a really cool feeling. And then from there what do you call it? That video did better than anything I think any of our videos. So like so like it's like the band's page did it. None of us are TikTok famous by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that guy's video did well, and that kind of put us on the map a little bit as far as people who followed him or just followed like new metal band kind of coming up. So it helped for sure. It definitely helped.
Right.
At least it helped our spirits. We're like, oh, cool, people care.
There you go.
Like
Yeah. Who cares how
yeah,
it happens? I'm a big believer. It only takes one, you know?
yeah, it does. It absolutely does. That's why on our all our vertical video platforms, we're posting the same video sometimes. They're just different angles of the same part of a song a
Hmm.
hundred times. It just takes one of them for people to be like, oh, that band's kind of sick.
Yeah. And it's just constant. You have to constantly be putting out content and like just all this
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like you said, it's a full-time job. You need help doing it. But
Yeah,
that's all
it is
you?
a full-time job. It's not all me. It uh it definitely is like a team effort. Like a lot of what it is when I do the music videos, I'll keep all the footage and sort through it, and then I send the editor like whatever takes I want and stuff. But then I keep all that footage, and I can take like if it's just a shot of me singing the whole verse, like a music video obviously wouldn't be just me the whole verse, but I can use that for vertical video on TikTok and Reels and things like that, where someone might want to see the singer just sing for a little while, or just like a drummer play the whole breakdown because it was technically complicated. So I have like that footage on hand, so I can use something that it took a whole team to create and then repurpose it. It looks like high quality content.
Yeah.
And then other than that, yeah, I have a white backdrop in my garage and I have like my own little camera and I'll just film us rocking out and then yeah, put the captions on it and make it look all cool and just blast it on TikTok. But two of the other guys, Nick and Derek, our bassist and drummer, they're good at like the algorithm of like when to post and why and what hashtags are in and out and aspect ratios and they know all that stuff. So I'll usually make like the calendar of like, hey, this is all the stuff I want to put out. And then they're the wizards that are like, okay, this should be on Monday and that should be on Tuesday because
Yeah.
this is, and they like, all right, dude, do it,
I have to
do
get
whatever
better
you
at
think.
that. I have to get like I'm not knowledgeable in that space like whatsoever. It's like I just don't have the time to put into it. I mean,
It's
this is
hard.
yeah, this is for me, this is
Yeah.
very much like a side project. You know, I have a full-time job during the day. I have a wife and two kids, and their schedules just like monopolize most of my free time. So it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, and there's like you said, they know when to post and what days and what times and the
Yeah.
algorithms and hashtags. It's nuts how like involved it is.
It can be overwhelming really fast. I think the key for me was like not making content I don't want to make and just like having a really strict rule on that. Like there's a couple people who have hit us up that are like either, someone wants to do some kind of marketing or like, you know, the management and label, I'm very lucky to say are like very respectful of our vision. They don't ever ask us to do anything we don't want to do. But there's times where things come in and they're like, hey, can you just make like a skit like this or a thing like that? Or can we, kind of talk to the camera like, hey guys, come to our show. Like, and we're like, dude, no. Like, it's just like, it's not our style. It's not something I feel comfortable doing. It's going to look clunky. It's going to look cringy. Like, I don't want to do that. So I think, or the posting every day vlog style or whatever. It's just, there's a lot of things you can do but and people tell you should do. But it's like if you're not feeling comfortable with that, that doesn't feel like it resonates with you. I think it's just you're gonna hate doing it, and you're gonna hate
Right.
everything. So like I really enjoy making content where I'm explaining like how I produce something. So I started doing that, and that's been fun. Or I like making the videos where it's just you see the band performing the parts, and we can put that out. So I think it's like if you there's one kind of thing you generally like doing, just to really just do that. I don't know if that's the best advice in the world. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not the best, but I think it helps you stay happy making the content.
Right.
And then the other guys who know what to do with the content, they're the ones who do what they do with the content. Because
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I
I
was born
just,
in the wrong era. Like a camera on me is the last thing I wanna have. It's just not for me. So like
yeah,
trying to create content like this is a solo show for me, outside the guests, right? So it's like the content would be me trying to be stupid and funny. And it's like I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to do that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can take the fun out of things. There's times when I'm in a session or I'm working on something or writing something or I'm just playing guitar, come up with something, and then I'm like, oh, I should be filming this for behind the scenes. And it's like, dude, you're in the zone. Just
Yeah.
fucking rock out for a little bit. Go back and record it later or something. But
Yeah. Does
yeah,
that become
yeah.
overwhelming? Like, do you feel like sometimes you have to have that camera rolling all the time because to get that content? Because that seems like it's like a lot, right?
Yeah, I do it sometimes. Like I'll just set up a camera in the corner of the studio and just leave it there and just leave it rolling. Um, but then you go back and it's like a 3 hour long, like 400 gigabyte file, and you're like, oh God, what do I even do with this? How do I even? My computer's gonna explode if I try
Yeah.
to do something with this. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a thing. Is like I didn't, start writing music to film it. I started writing
Right.
music because I just liked playing guitar as a 4
Yeah.
year old, and then um, so I don't know. It's a mix of things. But then there's also the part of me. It's like, damn, I should be filming everything I do with other shit on Patreon so I can quit my 4 jobs I have outside of this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell, man. I'm so tired. Like,
Yeah. I get it.
so
I
I'm just
get it.
like, yeah, it's like I work in the morning, I do this in the middle of the day, and I go back to work at night somewhere else. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should be making the most out of what I'm doing because people want to see some of it. They ask, like, how did you do this? How did you do that? I'm like, yeah, there's definitely an avenue here.
Yeah.
But then you risk turning the really fun personal side of creating, which is just like creating in your room alone, and you risk making that a job. And then now every part of this is the job, and then
Yeah.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a
It's
it's a
a tricky one.
yeah, it's a tightrope. It's yeah, I mean, because bands at one point they just played music and they played
Yeah.
shows and they did all
Yeah.
that, and now it's a whole different game.
Yeah. I forget who was telling us. So someone said something along the lines of like, no one knew what Robert Plant had for breakfast. And that's why he
Right.
was a legend. It's because you just went to the show and it was this dude on stage, like unattainable,
Hmm.
rock star, this god, and he's doing his thing. And then he gets off stage and you're like, oh man, he's probably doing the coolest shit all day.
Yeah.
And like, you didn't have the Instagram gym selfie or like the breakfast shot or like that stuff. Or like, you didn't see how they made the songs or why until the documentary came out. And then it
Yeah.
was crazy.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's something to be said about that mystery, but there's also, things change and people like to know and people like to have the content is so much more like ADD feeling, or it's like new single, new single, new single, behind the scenes, how we made this, how I made that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea. Like, I mean, I'm an album guy, right? Like, I loved, back in the day when it took 2 years, which kind of sucked, but for the most part, it took 2 years for your new favorite artist to come out with a new album.
Hmm.
And like you listen to it from start to finish. So I love that aspect of it. But like the idea of getting a new single every 4 or 6 weeks or whatever it is, that's cool too, because now you're getting more from your favorite musicians. It
Hmm.
just seems like, and even if you're a musician, I think like, let's just say you release a song and it's not as well received as the one before that or what you thought it would be. And it's like, okay, well, we got another one coming out in 6 weeks, so that'll go away. So
Right.
that's kind of cool too.
It is nice. I think that the 4 to 6 week single thing, which is what we do like every 6 weeks. Um, It's nice because you get an opportunity for discovery with every song, whereas how you just release an EP, yeah, here's the EP and that's it. But every time you release a song, there's a whole rollout for it. You can try to get on playlists. You can try to, you know, have unique content to that song that feels like a big deal because it's a new release. And there's an opportunity every single song for someone to like stumble across your band or someone to share it to someone else or just, so it gives a 5 song EP 5 whole chances to be discovered, whereas you just release EP and it's just once. That
Right.
said, like I'm an album guy too, and if I'm listening to a playlist at the gym and there's a song I like, I'll stop it and just go to that album, just listen to that album the rest of the
Hmm.
time. Like I like hearing the collection, so I don't. There's people that I think feel that you should just drop singles forever and just not even do the album at this point. Just do singles forever because it's algorithmically advantageous.
Hmm.
But and sometimes I feel that way too. I mean, I bounce back and forth between it. I'm like, yeah, why are we even doing albums? Let's just do singles forever. That way, every song forever could always have a shot. But like, how many singles can you do on an album? You can't do 10 singles for the album. You can only do like 4 or 5, and then
Right.
so. But then it's like that there's still the art, like the collection of the songs. Like it's like the collection of the period of time you felt like you were in when you wrote that, or the physical space you were in when you wrote that made you feel a certain way, or what you were writing about, or just the sound of the music for that year. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool to still have those collections, but um, yeah, the rollout single wise is been very helpful for us, and I think for most people at this point, it seems like the standard
Yeah.
for a reason. Yeah.
Well, this 5 song EP, and I don't know the the whole thing is this, but I know at least the first two songs kind of follow each other. Like, Chemicals is the lead track off the EP. If you want to talk about that, you can, but then Slip Away kind of dovetails into that, if I'm not
Mm,
mistaken.
yeah.
I don't know if the rest of the songs kind of tell a story in that sense, but does it?
It kind of does, and it wasn't like incredibly intentional. The like I didn't do it to waterfall like that. It was just different things I was writing about, and then they ended up being put in the order where I was like, oh shit, that's actually really cool. Mo 90% of what we do is really intentional, and like every little thing on the artwork and every little sound of the song. But that wasn't. But it just came out cool. Yeah, Chemicals is was basically just about like a couple years ago being in LA and just feeling um really just kind of crushed by like this city and the living conditions and the working conditions and like not that I have it harder than like and maybe someone in another part of the world or anything, but just in my little bubble, just it was just tough like moving here without any friends or without any like real work and just like the the navigating the social circles and the financial aspects of like living on your own or trying to in like a really really tough city and like had health problems I couldn't afford to fix and I was just like on the bus going to work at way early in the morning and coming back at 4 or 5 a.m. on just like it just was like I was just really beaten down for a while and not feeling good and I was like I think I was picking up less than desirable habits and just like kind of not being the best version of myself for a while. And it was kind of that feeling of just like distracting yourself with whatever it is, to kind of not pay attention to the fact that like, you're struggling to stay alive in a place where you came there to follow your dream and now you're just like trying to get by. And it's just like, it was this a tough time and a tough place. And, that kind of went into Slip Away, which is more about like the moment that you do kind of finally look in the mirror and be like, dude, we are way off track. Like we got to get back to where we're at. Like, how do we even get this far away?
Yeah.
And that's what the whole song is like. How did it slip away? Like, how did that, that place that we were in, the place you thought you were going, like that person you knew that you are, like, how did that get so far from where you're at? It was like just like you know, a come to Jesus moment, I guess, or just like a coming to. And Head of the Snake, I mean, it's not like a direct follow, but Head of the Snake was very much just like, you know what? Fuck y'all anyway. It was like, it's like, it was just like, I used to write all the lyrics on the bus going to work. And, I'd be in like gross bartending clothes and there's all this like homelessness and people like literally smoking crack on the bus, like, and fighting each other. And it was just like so chaotic. This like 5, 6 a.m. bus ride home was just like another world for me. And I remember looking around and being like, dude, this is fucked, man. This is so
Yeah.
fucked. Like, how is there like such uh such a vast separation between like people who are doing so well and people who are doing so poorly here? And like, how are we not taking care of these people? Me. How are we not taking care of me, dude? Like, how are we not taking care of these guys over here who are literally just living in blankets on the bus? Like, and we have all these other nice things. Like, we don't want to fix this at all. Even if you're in the nice place here, you don't
Yeah.
you're down for this to just be around you. Like, and I was like, man, we fucking lost the plot. Like this fucking city's lost the plot. And I was just like, I was just bummed and seeing all these advertisements plastered all around the bus, like buy this. And I was like, are you the fucking balls?
Yeah.
Like the people on the bus.
Yep.
And I was just like, I just had this moment where I was like, like you don't think we know what's going on. You don't think we know what you're doing. It's just this very like, kind of like a fuck you to Big Brother, kind of a feeling, but also just to like anyone who's ever kind of felt in that position where it's like just feeling used up and burnt out, and the other person just being like, I know what's happening here, and I'm just very upset about it. Uh, and Yeah, and then Circles and In Heaven are just other stuff entirely. They don't really follow that plot. But a
Yeah.
lot of it was just, yeah, my just being this brooding, upset, moody, broke, hungry person in LA for a
And
while and
that's
complaining a
fair,
lot.
man. That's fair. I mean, I think the whole world. I mean, LA is a different monster, I think, and you kind of alluded to that, but like, it's tough, man. It's it's
Yeah.
it's tough for everybody. It's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. And I definitely had a bit of a change of heart. Um, Obviously when you're not in as bad of a situation, you don't feel as bad, but you don't forget either. You look around and I mean, I'm still taking the bus sometimes. I'm still working. I'm still feeling a lot of the same way sometimes, but just generally in a better place. So I think a bit more clarity, a bit less anger towards like the world.
Right.
Um, but then there's also moments like when we did have those fires in LA and you saw like every single person you knew doing something to help. And, it didn't feel performative. It felt like people were like, this is fucked. This is our city. And like everyone jumped in to help. And like one thing about LA is everyone fucking complains about LA in LA, every single person, me too. Um, but everyone jumped in to help and everyone made like a big effort. Like you'd run into people at donation centers and everyone was doing something and there's something to go to. Everyone had to support everybody. And that definitely changed my perspective a little bit where I was like, all right, maybe it's not as fucked. Like people do care. They just don't act like it until they do. But
Something bad
that
happens. Yeah.
was, yeah, I was like, that was a nice part of a really terrible thing was like, you're like, okay, maybe there is a little bit of heart here somewhere, buried deep, deep,
Yeah.
deep down. It's in there.
We all have it, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think we just get, I mean, we get bogged down with the day-to-day stuff, and sometimes it's hard to see the bigger picture. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm guilty of that too. I have an amazing life, but there's times where I'm like, this is bullshit. This sucks or whatever. You can pick anything to complain about. You really
Hmm.
could.
Yeah.
And I think we just do that as humans. And I don't know if it's because of, you see the news every day, you're on social media every day, and you see all this kind of,
Hmm.
arguing back and forth and, whatever it's about. Like, it just, yeah, it's hard to, sometimes you just get kind of consumed by that. And it's hard
Yeah.
to really see the bigger picture sometimes.
Yeah. I definitely have made a big effort to, like, within reason, stay off of that as much as I can. Like, try not to just watch the news for habit or scroll through it out of habit. Um, or even just be on Instagram out of habit. Like I tried to I put it in a folder on my phone. So it's
Yeah,
like
good.
not as pressable. And like, I don't know. I mean, I try to make like, it might come off kind of shallow or selfish in a way, but like it's really doesn't feel that way in my brain. But I try to live my life with just doing the things I like doing as much as I can and paying attention to things out of my control as little as possible. Again, within reason, within like responsibility, but um, I just try to spend as much of my day making music as I can and just having fun with that as I can and going out and partying and watching the news and doing those things as little as I can and just like really try to just fucking enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Like, and then when you're doing that and you feel like you've kind of done the thing you're here to do and done the thing you love doing the most and like those other moments seem to bother you a bit less, I think.
Yeah.
But it's also easy to drown in them and like, it's like I always use this reference of just there's gotta be a better reference, but like in Grand Theft Auto when you steal a new car and then all of a sudden you see that same car everywhere and you didn't see it until you had it and you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, this car is everywhere. I remember that used to happen when I was like, when I was, and I feel like it's the same. It's anything else. It's like if you're walking around like this sucks, this
Yeah.
city's fucking dirty and I'm broke and I can't afford health insurance, my fucking back hurts, and then it's like you're gonna walk around and everything's gonna piss you off. But
Yeah.
like if you're like, man, that was such a good session today. Like that song is gonna be so fucking cool. I'm so excited about it. And then like you're in this good mood, people feel it, you feel it. You're nicer to people, they're nicer to you. Like everything just is better. It's just
It's all,
like getting there, which is hard.
yeah. It's changing your mindset, really. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to do sometimes, but like it does work.
Hmm.
But I know you have two videos out, right? For chemicals and slip away.
We did one for Head of the Snake too.
Oh, there's one for that too.
Um,
Okay.
and then I like DIY'd one for circles.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
And directed by you, correct?
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was originally like a maybe like a necessity at first. We're like, brand new band, our budgets aren't crazy. We can't do these like really extravagant music videos or anything. But I had the vision so strong of what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be like, this is what I picture when I'm writing the songs, is this kind of stuff. And I was
Hmm.
like, and we called a bunch of directors. We tried, absolutely tried. And they were like, yeah, fucking right, bro. Like double the budget and then some, and then we'll talk. And I was like, dude, that's come on. Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, well, okay, if we hire a director and a producer or a production company, like they're obviously going to take a big cut of this. And
Hmm.
then the money they spend is like the remainder. And that money they're spending being the remainder is like what I think our budget probably just is at all. So I was like, well, if I direct it and then we can just spend all of the money on the stuff, the location, the extras, the props, the whatever. And I was like, and then we get a lot more bang out of our buck. So I just like fucking winged it. I was like, let's just do it. I got it. Trust me. And like my band knows how hard I work. And they were like, honestly, dude, probably do fine with this. I mean, trust you're not gonna fuck it up. Like, I wouldn't put out anything bad. I wouldn't let it happen. So
Dude, they're
they
good.
like
They're
they they
awesome.
they. I'm so grateful they trusted me, and I'm also so grateful it worked out because it could have been so bad. Like, if it sucked, it would have been 100% my fault, and I would have felt terrible. But yeah, I mean, we worked really fucking hard, like to scout all the locations and find all of like the little details and costumes, and I need these speakers to look like that, and I gotta go shopping and find this like really dusty, gross stereo set, and like I did everything and just to everything in my power to make it look the way that it looked in my head, and then it came out fucking awesome, and then we
Hmm.
were like, fuck yeah, and then we did it again with Slip Away, and that one, we had an even tighter budget, so I tried producing that one, which is essentially just like getting the insurance for the equipment rentals and like all the little details. And I had a fucking horrible time with that. That was so hard, and I never want to do that again. It's so confusing. I got the wrong insurance and shit. And everyone's mad at
Uh,
me, and I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm just a guy trying to make a video, man. Like I just sing. I'm dude, you know. But that pulled that one off, and then the last one. We were literally in the middle of rehearsals for our first couple of shows. So we kind of passed the torch to a production company. We're like, hey, here's a vision. Can you just make this happen? I just want to show up and shoot and go back to rehearsal, basically. And that was Head of the Snake. And then, yeah, then Circles, I just filmed everybody in my garage and ran it through a CRT TV, like an old TV I found on Facebook Marketplace, and like just shorted the voltage out and shit to make it like really glitchy, and then just like filmed that on my camera and added lyrics and put it on YouTube, and that's what that one is. Very, very DIY.
dude, that's
But
awesome
we
though.
needed something. So,
People, watch videos, at face value sometimes I think, and they don't think about how much, especially if you're doing it yourself too. It's like how much time and effort, going and get insurances and all that kind of shit.
oh
Like,
my God, it's so much. I have so
yeah,
much more respect for, not that I didn't before, but like more 110% respect for
yeah,
everybody that does these kinds of things. I'm like, this is a lot of work. Like, oh, it like completely consumed me for weeks trying to figure this out. I
yeah,
was like, damn, y'all just bang videos out like this all the time. That's crazy. I don't even know how you do that. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
yeah. I guess that's why they charge a lot of money.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, for real. I see why they laughed me out the door. They're like, dude, no,
Yeah,
I'm not touching that. I was like, fair, honestly.
yeah. But you're gonna get to that next level, and this is gonna be like easy for you now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking. So since then, I ended up like directing a couple other things because I really, really enjoyed it. And the girl who was my AD on the first one, Gabriela Lopez, we did the second video. Just we co-directed that one, and then directed some other things coming out in the future together. We're like a little team now, and she picks up all of the I want to say all the slack, but like all the things that I'm not good at, she's great at. Like particular acting performances. I'm like, oh, you got to act like this and pull this out. And I want you to look at the camera like this. And I'm more like story, plot, lighting, like how's everything look, how's everything feel, what's like the story we're telling. And she's a bit more like microscopic. So together it's been really, really fun. But I'm like, damn, this is something I love doing now. And I can't wait for the day that we do have like a crazy budget and I can just like go wild with it.
Yeah,
I'm like so looking forward to that.
and the length of time. I was actually in a music video for a band. They're called Don't Panic, and the song is The Long Way. And I was there for 12 hours, and they had been there before me and even after me. Like the length of time it takes to do these
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
is insane. And Ted, the lead singer, who, again, they kind of do this all themselves. They hire someone to film it and things like that. But like he has this vision too. It's like, and like you think about that, and it's like being part of that was just such a cool thing to do. Because again, you don't think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You don't. You just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go and shoot us playing.
Yeah,
And you're like, no. When we made those shot lists, I was like, oh shit, yeah, we gotta shoot just the drummer, then the bassist and the drummer, then the other guitarist and the drummer, then the singer and the drummer, then the singer and everybody, then just the singer for
right.
each shot.
Yeah, and
But we hustled through it. I mean, because it's hourly a lot of these locations, so we flew through that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he rented a house or an Airbnb, like a house for the day, like
Oh,
all this stuff.
nice.
Yeah, it was just like, and then like it's not even shot in like a consecutive time frame. It's like you might do the part that was at the end first, or whatever it
Hmm.
might be. It's just
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect
Yeah.
for that.
So much going on with that stuff, and we like I mean, it was our first music video, and we really wanted to kind of pull out all the stops. We had everything pretty much in place, like just me being a nervous wreck. I kind of had everything like, okay, as soon as we walk in this door, we can just attack it and start checking off these lists and these shots and everything. But I think we did the chemicals video in like something like 5 or 6 hours. We did it really fast. I think I was just like this very intense like Italian New Yorker dude just being like this shot, now this shot, then this shot. Like I need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, go later. We gotta move. Like and we just banged it out and we left there like, oh shit, we have 2 hours left here. Like we are wrapping up so early. Like,
Yeah,
we killed it. It went so fast and then just left. But
that's awesome.
yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm genuinely really looking forward to doing another one. I don't know when that is, but I guess for the album. But I can't wait to do another one and make it all. I liked the Chemicals one the most, I think. It was like it has a cool, it really feels like what the band is. And we tried some other things after that and I was like, nah, let's go back to that vibe. That feels like us. Yeah.
Yeah. And how has the songs that you've released so far, how have they been received from, the audience so far?
Good. It seems like people liked Chemicals and Slipaway the most. Um, Slipaway did it was my first song ever on radio ever in my life. And that was like, oh, I guess no, Chemicals technically went on Octane for like a second, but Slipaway was on like all over the place, and that was like so crazy to me, so crazy to me. Like I don't know, you picture things going well for you as a kid, and you hope they do, but a little thing like that, which like a lot of my friends and peers have like are very used to this. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, for sure, and I'm like, yeah, but that's crazy to me, dude. Like I've
Yeah.
never, so that was like that was fucking so cool, but I don't know. I mean, it seems good. We're still a new band, and I think in my brain, I still am just constantly trying to fan the flame and like make sure that everyone's still excited about it. Um, we just put out Circles pretty recently, and that seems to be going pretty well. People like that one, which is cool because that's my favorite one. It's the probably the weirder one. It's like a disco metal song and like a Meshuggah tuning. It's just like so out there, sort of, but I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think people like it. It's still so new, you know? It's still so new.
Well,
We haven't,
let's
yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, please. I'm just
No, no. I mean,
ranting.
I wanted to go back to, the first time maybe you heard yourself on the radio. And, obviously, so my full-time job is in radio,
Oh, cool.
particularly sales. And then I do some on-air work as well for a classic rock station and then an alternative station. And on the alternative station, I do like a local to this area radio show where I put local musicians on a commercial radio station, which they get pumped about.
Hmm.
It's a legit radio station that their music is being played on.
Hmm.
And I always like, being in it, you kind of lose like I've gone to so many shows like for free, when you're in it, you take it for granted and it's just kind of like another day.
Hmm.
But when you're not in it and you had that happen to you, it's kind of like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And radio's kind of taken a back. I shouldn't say a backseat, but it's obviously been um,
It's different.
this
It's different now with streaming for sure.
it's been
Yeah.
disrupted by streaming services and things like that. But I still think it has merit
Hmm.
in that like somebody heard it and wants to put it on. Like you can you know I mean on streaming like everyone's on it. Like you can find
Yeah.
it at all times. But like I feel like for radio when that happens, it's like
No, it's
really
like
kind of
winning a
cool.
little award. It's
Yeah,
like, damn, we made it to, to radio. That's crazy.
yeah,
Also, I mean, and it does do a lot. You see, like, we get emails from Apple Music and Spotify and all that jazz, like every week, and it says like your amount of plays and the territories and stuff. But it also has Shazams on it, and like you can see the
cool.
songs that went to radio. The Shazams are through the roof, and the ones that didn't, it's like, you know, little to none. And you're like, it does do something for your band. It definitely does.
Yeah,
People hear and they literally like, what song is this? And they go find it. Um, it's also the coolest thing just to think that someone because radio is just like it's radio, but it's people like you,
mhm,
and
yeah,
it's like oh shit, someone heard this song was like this is cool. I'm going to choose to share this with everybody, and they DJ'd your song to however thousands of people. It's like it's so cool. You're like, damn, thank you, man, for that. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing this song to all your friends. Like, it's and people just driving around and listening to your track now because of this. Someone chose to give it a shot. I think it's just really cool. And it's very like a completely new experience, which is fun to someone who's been doing this since they were a kid to have like a brand new experience is like, shit, man, I miss that. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm torn about, streaming and all that kind of stuff just because like it's so cool. I mean, but it's like it's so much. It's overwhelming. There's so many bands out there, so much music, which is awesome because it's literally in the palm of your hands.
Mhm.
But when you have someone that like, not that I'm saying that I know what's good or whatever, but like when you have someone that kind of says, "Hey, you gotta check this out," as opposed to like, here's, I mean, playlists are obviously important as well on those streaming platforms, but I just think it's kind of it just I'm still holding out for radio as like hopefully making like some kind of resurgence or something like that. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who just still use it, who just get in the car and put on whatever station they want to put on, whether it's for the effort of discovery, they just want to like hear what else is new or just stay updated. It's like news, it's like music
Yeah,
news essentially. It's like this is what's new. People get stuck listening to the same stuff.
yeah,
I guess it's pretty similar to like a Spotify, you know, new and metal playlist or something, but it's cool. You hear people jump in and chime in and talk about what they like and why they picked it and interviews with bands and there's all kinds of stuff. I think it's just a different person turns it on and those people need new music too.
yeah. I hope this isn't appropriate, but what's it like being like one of the most handsome lead men in metal? Jesus, dude, these videos, man.
I haven't been asked that yet.
Wow, I mean, like, holy
Oh,
shit! I'm watching these videos, I'm like, this guy is a stud.
oh man, I appreciate it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, that's really nice of you to say. I have no idea. I don't know. Like I said, it's a brand new band. It hasn't come up yet. I don't know. I don't know. There was a guy who made a video, one of the videos about it. Like, I don't know if it was the same reaction guy. I want to say it was. Um, there's a dude who's Irish, and then I think there's another dude who's Scottish. And I see both of their videos, and I'm like, wait. And they both look so similar to each other. And I'm like, which one are you? But one of them said something like, our band's getting too hot nowadays, and like put this whole thing up. And I was like, dude, we're just guys,
Yeah,
we're just guys making music. But I don't know, man. I mean, listen, if it helps, if it makes anyone want to listen to the music, then awesome. It's something though, there's
yeah,
definitely something about like, your image mattering in this industry and stuff too. But um I don't know. I just try to take care of myself and work out hard and make cool shit.
good for you, man. Good for
Yeah.
you. I mean, I wouldn't say like is it getting too high? Just like I'm like, wow, that guy, very attractive individual.
Appreciate it. I've been a personal trainer for like 12 years,
That
and
makes
no matter
sense.
like how crazy music has gotten, I've always like that's always just been a huge part of my life. It's how I got into music. My mom was a personal trainer, and I heard metal like in the gym growing up. Um, or taking CDs home from the gym that her boss would give her like corn CDs and stuff.
Nice.
And no matter what, I always just try to. It's such a huge part of my life, and I try to get any one of my friends who are interested, I get them involved as well. And um, I don't know. I think just staying in shape and feeling good and feeling confident, like that resonates through your whole life, whether it's,
Yeah,
you know, may not literally get you farther in life, but your like your attitude and feeling good and having energy and just feeling confident, like I think that does something for you that like nothing else really can do. No amount of coffee can make you feel just alive and awake and feeling good.
yeah. I just started going back. This is I probably it was September, so you're looking at 6 months. I've been at it. Um, I just got out, just got out of control. It just,
Mhm.
life gets in the way, and it's hard. I mean, I'm up at 5:30 every day in the gym by 6, and
Hell
I,
yeah, dude.
yeah. So it's like an hour at the gym. I'm home before my kids even wake up. So I get
Yeah.
home, I wake my kid up, get him fed, get him dressed. My wife gets up with our daughter, and that's the start of my day. And it's I've lost weight, which was like a goal of mine, but I think what I love the most about it is just the strength that I've gained. Like that's like a
Yeah.
cheat code, I think. It's just like being stronger. Like
Yeah.
lifting
Yeah.
up a case of water isn't a chore anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
it's
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, losing the weight and kind of just looking better is obviously a plus. And for me, it's important that my kids see me, and my son's already asking me, he's like, "Could I go with you?" And like, he's like 7, so I'm like, "Yeah, you're little,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's so
like,
great. I was gonna
which,
say like one of the best things is probably like just your kids seeing you or knowing, I guess they're asleep still, but knowing that you got up and went to the gym before you even woke up. Like
yeah,
that's what my dad did growing up was before he wake me up for school, he had already ridden his bike down the street across the George Washington Bridge. I had an espresso back across the bridge, back up to our house, and woke us up for school. And I was like, shit, man, you did all that. Like, my mom was a trainer, and like, so I'm very lucky to be around it already. But you don't want to slack off when your parents are crushing it like that. You're gonna feel
yeah,
like a piece of shit. So like, just having your family do that is probably really, I don't know, it's probably great for the
yeah,
rest of your family and everything. That's awesome, man.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't, if I could, I would live forever, just because like the thought of like not being with my family is like
Of
just
course,
pains me, right?
yeah.
Obviously, that can't happen, but so if I can be around longer than I would have if I just kept getting fatter, then that's good.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it too. Yeah.
Well, I did this like boxing program. Like this is back in 2013, so we're looking at 12 years ago. I got in the best shape of my life, but like I wasn't
Boxing
married
is
yet.
tough, man.
Yeah, but
Well,
I
like
was.
I'm cardio is hard. Cardio is
Yeah,
so hard.
it was a 20-week program, but I was like it was kind of miserable. It wasn't sustainable either because
Mm,
it was literally 5 days a week in the gym. But I was like weighing my food. I mean, I got pretty cut. I was probably in the best shape of my life at 30 years old. And that's not my goal now. My goal is just to be like, just, functional strength training and,
yeah.
losing weight is great, but just, being stronger and just being a little more healthy. Like I mean, I'm better at what I eat now, but I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not like consumed by it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been 5:30 comes early. And I'm an idiot too. Like I
Yeah.
love staying up late. I just love it. I
Oh, those are hard two habits to have.
the worst. The
I
worst. There's days like
I
before
feel
I
you
just
now
sleep.
because that's kind of how I have to do with my different jobs. Is
Yeah.
I work late and then get up early for work.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I mean, I think it's like just as easy as the bad habits can take control, so can the good habits. Like I forget what the saying is. Like it takes X amount of days to build the habit, but
it's like
um.
21 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, you do this for long enough, and then it's like you can't imagine not getting up at 5:30 and working out. Or the days, all your rest days, you start to feel like, oh, I don't know, confident I could go do it.
Yeah.
Like today's my rest day, and it's twice already. It's only 1:45, and twice already. I was like, try just go for a little bit and come back. Like, just like because you get so used to doing it, it becomes such a fun part of your day, especially. It's like the creative part of things too, where it's like
Yeah.
if you find the version of working out that you really like there's all this science, and I think on paper probably strength training is the best thing you can do as far as working out. But like there's people who fucking hate strength training and fucking love Pilates. And it's like, yeah, well that's gonna make it more sustainable for you to go do Pilates 3 times a week than like bail on the gym entirely. Then yeah, then go do Pilates. So
Right.
like if you're enjoying it, then that finding thing you enjoy and just making it a irreversible habit of yours is like that's the best thing you can possibly do. And
Yeah.
it could save your life or just put you in the better mood for your friends and your family or just whatever you got going on. I think it's irreplaceable. It's like a non-negotiable thing. I think just for everyone to be like bettering themselves and feeling good all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
I it's hard. It's hard. I know it's hard. I've had so many clients that have really struggled with it. So I absolutely know how hard it can be to get into and to keep that habit. But once you're there, it's like you just gotta get over that hill and then it's like you're cruising.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned before you've got Warp Tour.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
pretty
We could
cool.
talk about that now. That's great. We just announced it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so stoked, man. I am so stoked. It's gonna be definitely our biggest show so far. And I'm incredibly excited. We're very lucky to do all three. So there's DC, Long Beach, and then Orlando. So if you're near any of those, come check us out. Um, I did it in 2017, which is how I met like a lot of my current friends, with an old band called Locals Only. And we did it largely in we did the first like couple weeks in my van, which then caught fire and we left it in
Jeez.
North Carolina. And then we took my cousin's 94, I think 93 Ford Explorer. But it was the old ones and they're a bit more compact then. They weren't this giant
Mhm.
Tahoe of a car. Um leather seats, no air conditioning, just
Nice.
brutal. And we just did the rest of the tour in that, another 6 weeks like that or something. We just had like movements. The band movements took all our gear in their trailer, which was very kind of them. And then like, I think we just put everything we could fit into a backpack and just did the other 6 weeks like that, just hustling. It was still by far the most fun time of my life. I mean, it's like they say it's like summer camp for adults, and then you do it, and you're like, oh, it totally checks out. It's
Yeah.
so fun. It's so hard. It's so hard, but it is so fun, you know. Um, and as much as I'd love for it to be this long tour again, like part of me is like, okay, I'm 30 now, and staying up 3 days at a time because we didn't have a driver or anything, obviously. So you're just driving overnight to the next show in this crazy heat with no AC, and you're selling CDs on the line and playing Full Sail Stage, and then you're just trying to like fight for catering food at the end because you got there too late, and like it was a lot. But I did that year, and then played just a little bit of this 2 or 3 shows of the last one in 2018. And we heard it was coming back and they asked us to do it. I was like, oh fuck yeah, there's nothing I would rather do. Like
That's
it
awesome.
was like the my favorite memory so far to be back and be a part of it is like I would have had the craziest FOMO if we didn't get asked to do it. I'd have been so upset. I'm so happy we're doing it.
Yeah, I can imagine those are probably like memories you have forever. Like, I mean, that's what I miss most about, again, I'll preface this with saying like I have the most amazing life. I couldn't imagine not having my wife or my kids, but like, doing, which not saying that like Warped Tour is stupid, but like doing those crazy things, like stuff that like there's no plan, like just stuff
Yeah.
happens. So you're just
Yeah.
kind of, but that's where the best memories are made. It's just
Yeah.
the
It's just like
unknown.
absolute freedom. You're just out there winging it.
Yeah,
And it's so fun. Yeah.
yeah. Like my favorite memories are just like I always say that I loved going out with like without a plan because the unknown was the best part. Because like
Yeah.
you didn't know if you were going to meet your future wife that night, or
Hmm.
I say we're end up in a ditch somewhere, or
Yeah.
whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been very close to both of those things
Yeah,
every single day on that tour.
you
I
know.
was like,
I, I
yeah.
I have a saying, and I always tell my friends I want it on my tombstone when I'm gone, just like it's all about the story.
Yeah.
It's like
It is.
don't say no to things. Just like, if someone says like, "Hey, you want to go do this?" Just go do it. Like, 'cause you never
Yep.
know what can happen.
Exactly.
It's
I
beautiful.
agree with that wholeheartedly. Just do it for the plot, do it for the autobiography one day.
You never
Just get
know.
out there and do shit. You just never know. You truly never know.
You
Yeah,
never
there was
know.
a moment when that band first got asked to do Warped Tour because we were at the time that was kind of a relatively new band as well. And two of the guys in the band, there's only what is there? No, there's five of us. But two of the guys in the band were like, "Nah, I don't think we should do it." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Of course we're gonna do it." It's like, "Nah, dude, I'm in a good place with my job, and I don't really want to, go take off that time." And the other guy was in the kind of the same spot, and I was like, listen, if you're not doing this, what would you do? You're
Yeah.
clearly not down for this. So fuck out of here. Just drop those two guys. And we went on the tour. Like, fuck that, dude. Like, and we just went on the tour. We found a drummer on, like, when we got there. We're like, hey, we made friends with this other band. We're like, you're a drummer? I feel like you'd want to play drums for our entire rest of this tour as of tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Learned the parts, air drumming in his van, and got on stage and played it for the first time with us.
That's so crazy.
And then, it was all so unknown is my point. Like we literally went out there without the half of the band. We were just like, we'll figure it out. We'll just figure it out. But we're not going to not do it. That's something
Yeah.
that's absolutely non-negotiable. We're going to go do it. We're going to go try. And if it fucking burns down, well, it's the same thing as being home? So it's like, just go fucking do it. Just try it. Figure it out. And we ended up having so much fun and making so many friends. And those friends led me to new friends, which led me to the band I'm in now. And like, you just never know, but it's just because you just drove out to California in a van that was like gonna light on fire and was like, I'm gonna try it. And
Yeah.
it, you know, it's
And
amazing.
you'll live with regret the rest of your life. Like, well, what if I did this?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
guess to a degree you can do that about anything, but
Right.
it's very healthy not to do that, I think, but it's even more healthy just to not give yourself the opportunity to do that in the first place. It's like,
Right.
you know, you're not gonna have amazing memories sitting home watching Netflix your whole life. Like you should
No.
hang out with your friends, man. Get out there, just go do something. Go on vacation to some weird place, or go hiking and to see some shit you've never seen before. Go do a tour in a car. Fuck it,
Yeah.
go try it.
That's like my wife's reasoning to spend money and like do these things, like take the kids to Disney. And it's like, oh my God,
Yeah,
it's cost so much money. But
yeah.
it's like, well, that they're going to be older one day, that it's not going to be as magical. I'm like, okay, you're right.
It's true. It's totally
It's
true.
100%
It's
right.
so easy to not do anything. It's so easy to just watch Severance all day. So easy. But like, you know, we're not. it's you're not gonna look back and be like, man, I had the best time watching that Apple TV series. Like you're
Hmm.
gonna be like, dude, like I'm so glad we went to Disney. I'm not gonna remember how much it cost. Maybe it will. I don't know. It sounds expensive, but
It's yeah, it's not it's expensive, but again, it's one of those things like you have the look on your kid's face to you'll have the
right.
rest of your life. And honestly, man, like I got a bit of a wake up call. Like, people think, oh, we'll do it next year, or we'll do it, when they're older, or whatever
Hmm.
excuse it might be. Like, we'll just do it now. It's not the right time, or whatever it might be. Um, my aunt, who literally just got set to retire. This is like last August. Gonna retire. Work till she's 65. 4 weeks later, diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. I
She's
see what
doing
you're saying
very
too.
she's doing very well. Thank God she's doing very well. But she worked her entire life to be like one day say, okay, I'm gonna like
Yeah.
enjoy my
And like, what if
life.
that one day isn't as magical as you thought it'd be? Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's it just it's nuts. So it's like do the thing now. Do it when you can. Don't say tomorrow. Don't say next year. Don't say whenever. Like
Right.
just opportunity comes, take it.
Right.
But
I completely agree. And I think, you know, big term, long, short term, like it's not just in the immediate, but also just like the things you do with your life. That's why I imagine that's why you do what you do. And that's why I do what I do too, is like because we're like, well, that's less secure of a job than maybe other jobs and less guaranteed. But it's like you don't want to look back and be like, oh, I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that, I could have been working in music, but instead
yeah,
I'm doing whatever you're doing. I think
Uh,
it's nice to allow yourself the risk of like having a good life and doing exactly what you wanted to do. It's, for sure risky, but like I don't know, I think it's worth it. It's like you don't get a second chance,
no, no, you don't. Life is a wild ride for sure.
Yeah.
But I have one last thing to say, and then I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of
Sure.
your Sunday. Um, Alan in the videos scares the shit out of me. The mask
Mask.
scares the absolute shit out of me, man.
Yeah. That was a very last minute thing, a decision of his. I support it. I love it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's not
It works.
yeah. We were nearing the end of the preparation for chemicals video, and he called me. He's like, I have a crazy idea. Like, just tell me if I'm crazy. And I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, well, I've been thinking like, I've had a good career in advice, man, and like, I don't need people to like know who I am or anything. And not that he's hiding it by any means, post about this band every day on Instagram and stuff. But he was like, I don't need to like go advertise who I am or anything. Like, I'm not trying to like make a name for myself. I kind of did that, and I'm comfortable with that. He's like, this band has always been about the artistic side. Like, I want to make some weirder metal stuff, some interesting, kind of like stuff I wouldn't normally get to do. And that's how this band started. And he was just like, I feel like I want to do that aesthetically as well and do some weird shit, like wear like a gimp mask or something. And I was like, I don't know if you're like spitballing with the gimp mask idea or if that's like the idea, but I love that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And he's like, I thought you were gonna say no. I was like, bro, first of all, do whatever the fuck you want to do. And second of all, like, I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Like, this thing didn't start to be like a commercial success and like a radio rock band. Like, we've had that luck the second one. But we did this because we just were like, what if we just did exactly what we thought was the coolest? Like exactly went from making what we tried to do, like, oh, we'll make money making music for trailers. And it turned into us just like having the most fun with those songs and turning it into a metal band, which is like obviously gonna be less financially successful than movies, songs or trailers. We just did it because we thought it was sick. And so I guess for him it carried over until like I'm gonna keep doing whatever I think is sick. And for me, that's wearing a fucking gimp mask on stage. I was like, fucking send it. Absolutely. So it was awesome. I fucking love it. He gets a lot of shit for it. I think it's amazing. He has this other one that is like a full covering with all these spikes on it.
Yes, that's the one
Um,
that really gets me because I
oh, I love that one.
yeah.
But he can't really see uh too well. Like I was like when we played our first couple shows, I was like buzzing. I got off stage. I was like, dude, oh my God, that was so fun. Holy shit. Like you see that crowd. Oh my God. And he's like, I didn't see anything. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I just am desperately trying to see my guitar and my pedal board. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you didn't have fun up there? He's like, dude, all I'm doing is like, I'm just trying to see. He's like, I'm trying to see through this mask. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough because the GIMP one's got to be so hot with the
Hmm.
leather, you know?
Yep.
And the other one's covering his eyes. I was like, all right, we're going to workshop this. We're going to figure out a way to make you sure that you're still having fun up there, man.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like the full face cover because like what freaks me out about people is when I can't read emotion.
Oh,
So
yeah, of course.
if I can see the eyes, you can kind of
Hmm.
get a gauge of emotion based on eyes or even the mouth too. But like when it's full cover, forget it. I'm out.
Yeah, it's freaky not having that connection with someone when he has it on, and I'm like, I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening in there.
Exactly.
It is funny when we do like a photo shoot or a video shoot, and we're all like, okay, cool. Got to make sure my hair doesn't look like I just woke up, and got to get it looking nice, and got to do my little skincare and shit. And everyone
Yep.
else has their fresh haircuts on, and he can just show up however the fuck he wants because he just takes his shirt off and puts on a mask, and it doesn't matter what he
Yep.
looks like.
Good
And
for
I'm
him.
like, you lucky motherfucker, dude.
He
That's
knew what he was
awesome.
doing. He had a
Yeah,
plan.
probably. Probably, man. He just shows up in Dickies and just pops his shirt off and throws on a mask and he's done. And I'm like, all right, you might be onto something with that one, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, actually. That's pretty freaking sick. I'd love to do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a funny thing. He's been ordering like all kinds of masks. He has a collection. We joke that he's gonna have like our rig is all so compact live, everything's digital, and we've done this forever. We learned how to downsize things so you don't spend a fortune flying or driving to shows. And we're like, we always joke that like his the largest part of his rig is just be his masks.
Right.
He's ordered a bunch of them, and he wants to do like a new one for like every song or EP or whatever it is. I'm excited to see the future ones, but I hope he can find a way to both see
Yeah.
and not sweat to death while he plays shows because I want him to experience what I'm experiencing. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun up there. Yeah,
That'd be a cool thing if you did a different one for each song.
yeah. He did. Chemicals was one and Slipaway was one. I think he kept the Slipaway one for Head of the Snake and then brought back the Gimp one for Circles. Um, and then live, I think he just wears a spiky one. Because the Gimp Wasp one is like it's real like thick, heavy leather, and I think
Hmm.
he would just die in that
Yeah.
thing up there. I don't know. I think it's brutal. Remember watching those documentaries about Slipknot growing up, and they talk
Uh-huh.
about like the sweat filling up inside their masks and them feeling like they're drowning and stuff, and be like, oh, I can't imagine.
Wow.
And then he's like voluntarily doing that, so I'm like, dude, I don't know. Good luck. We've all heard how bad that is, and you're doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's all about the
yeah,
story.
yeah. It's for the stories. Just he's doing it for the art.
Yeah.
That's the you
Hell
can't
yeah.
respect anything more than you can respect that. That's fucking
Hell yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Well, man, I am excited for, your future in this band. The songs are great. Where can people find you on social media?
Everything is at thedark.fm. I'm at Craig Johns Jr. And thank you so much for saying that, man. I'm really excited too. It still feels very new and the work doesn't stop, but I'm more happy to put the work into this than anything else. It's my favorite thing. So
It shows. I mean, as much as you're saying like, oh, we're doing it ourselves, and at least the first two, videos and things like that, it's like it's yours. It's something that you love, and it comes across that way. It's
mhm.
awesome.
That's awesome. I'm glad it does. I'm glad it comes across that way because I really do feel it, man. All day I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about this when I'm working my other jobs or when I'm doing this or I'm making new stuff or looking back at old stuff. And it's just like it's it's more than just my child, it becomes this thing that everyone does together and like everyone gets to hopefully experience together. And it's just it is so fun. It is so fun and so rewarding and it's so cool to express yourself creatively without anyone really telling you what to do, which is you know, unique and maybe that's unique to being a new band that you have a fresh slate like that. But man, it's fucking awesome. So I'm so happy doing it, and I'm grateful you have me on the podcast. And I'm glad you like it, and I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for your time. I mean, how cool though, granted, like you're piecing together some things to, make this all happen, but like you have something that you love, like you look forward to every day. And like, yeah, you
Mhm.
might be doing this job that maybe you do or don't like as much as this, but like, imagine like there's people out there who don't even have a love of that one thing in their life. So it's like, it's so cool to have that.
Oh, I feel grateful. I feel grateful as
I'm
hell,
not saying you're
lucky as
not.
hell
I'm
all
just,
the
it
time.
just,
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm saying I know that I've been there too. There's times I've
yeah,
been in between projects or just trying to produce other people, and it's been slow. And I'm like, man, I don't have that thing, and I know what that feels like too. And so every day I have this, I'm like, This is the best. This is the
Yeah,
best day.
I'm happy for you. I really am.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate it, man.
Well, I'll be following you guys to make sure you're getting that next level. Can't
No,
wait to
I
see it.
appreciate it.
Can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. See ya.